Alright, we should be live. Welcome to Warrior Within again. But this time we're going to be killing the Dahaka. Not Kylina, thankfully. Yeah, let's get right to it. I guess we'll just start time right on this. So 3, 2, 1, go. What? Okay, good start. I think I hit the block button by mistake there. So he did a parry instead of attacking, but that's fine. So this is the boat. You've probably seen it, I think, 3 times now. But yeah, it's nothing special. I need a specific sword. We got a good one, so it's all good. We need it for the boss on the boat, because if it's not strong enough, then the strat we do to kill her won't work. Try these side rolls, which I nailed in the race. Oh yeah, and I got it here too. Those side rolls are really hard, because you need to turn a really sharp corner, as you saw. Okay, I guess I'll just go over movement again. Walking and rolling are almost the same speed. Chaining rolls is a bit faster, and side rolls is the absolute fastest. But it's only worth it if you can set them up decently quickly, or sometimes they're just already set up for you. And then sometimes I'll use backflips, like I did there. Because if I'm already targeting an enemy, I can't really like start side rolls because he'll just side roll in a circle around the enemy. So we backflip away instead. Alright, so for this we're going to use secondary counters, which do a lot of damage because of the secondary sword we have. That's why we need the specific sword drop. And one more counter, and she's gone. That was a good boat. That was like 150. That's a good boat. Oh, wait, no, it was worse than that. Never mind. But yeah, it was still fine. Alright, so for the first 7 minutes, we just need to get to the portal to get our ability to rewind time. Because the game is not broken yet. There's just little skips you can do up to there. But once we can rewind time, then the game is completely broken.
My crew, all are lost. I will find the one who did this, and she will pay.
There's actually a little time saver there. You can roll into the cutscene. Another little skip here. Instead of using the back pull there, you can just bounce between these. That's pretty much the gist of the skips in this area. It's just specific jumps. I just use landscape view there so that the camera is like facing straight on, so it's easier to side roll. And I'll side roll again here, except not yet. If I don't side roll there, then the enemies will make me move incredibly slowly, so you want to start side rolling before you get to them. Alright, then we gotta watch this pretty long cutscene. So just to give you like an overview of the route here, we're gonna be triggering the true ending, which means we need to get all 9 life upgrades. And the fastest way to do that with zipping, which is the glitch I'm going to be using later, is by just flying through the game and picking up secondaries whenever we need them to do something called a drop glitch, which you'll see later. It just negates fall damage. So right here, the fastest way to get out of these enemies is actually to throw your weapon, but I want to keep it, so I'm just going to jump over this guy. And super epic boss coming up here with an amazing, intense cutscene. But turns out you can just completely ignore him. So this is another little skip. You can just wall run in this corner and get up to this platform instead of going around to those poles. That used to be like much harder than it is, but now that we use that landscape setup with the keyboard, it makes it absolutely free. You just need to get in the corner and hold straight forward and then wall run. Alright, so wall running is slow, so we're going to jump. And that's just completely RNG, nothing I can do about that. Sometimes that guy likes to hit you right away. Another little skip there. There's actually a faster skip you can do here, but it's ridiculously hard. Oh, didn't want to jump there, but whatever. You see this section here, it's like a really long spot to run, so we set up side rolls so because it's worth it. Alright, so now we can rewind time, so the game's broken. I'm gonna go drink this from this fountain just as a safety precaution, because this gives me a checkpoint. If I mess this up, then I will go right back before I did that area. Trying to roll, but the prince likes to bounce off the wall. Here we go. Okay, so what I just did there is some inputs, and then I like to spam block a lot with the mouse wheel and walking. And what that does is overload the rewind system and accelerates whatever action you just did. So there's a backflip and then a jump, and I get right up here into the life upgrade room. And we need to go back there for a trigger, and then we can go right to the end of the life upgrade. Something that's very important with the life upgrade rooms is that you cannot zip through, or more specifically rewind through, the trigger that loads the life upgrade cutscene, because if you do that, it'll break this cutscene and then you can't get the life upgrade. So everything's routed around that, where you always zip ahead of the trigger usually, and then you run back to get it and then go forward. So here I'll use what I was calling a drop glitch. Just need to line this up. This isn't too precise, but if you miss it, it's really sad. And I only have one sand. I'm going to throw my weapon and zip straight forward there. Hit that load trigger, and we fall down. And then because I was throwing my weapon, the fall timer doesn't start until you let go of the weapon, so you can fall from much, much further. It only lasts as long as the animation of throwing the weapon lasts, but that turns out to be very long, so you can drop from some incredible heights. Alright, so here I just got a checkpoint and died, so that the game would load the next area. And doing that essentially skips like 2 hours of the game in any percent, and this is not as much because you need to go back to other areas anyway. But we want to go here first for a very important reason. That's because we want to become the Sand Wraith for one, we need to hit like all these story gates, which are just special triggers that tell you you're this far in the game. But for another reason, we want to become the Sand Wraith, so that we can have infinite sands. You get 3, and then the Sand Wraith regenerates them. So once we become him, we never have to pick up sand anymore. So I just got a checkpoint, and that advances the story gate to like the end of the game. And then we just need to keep death abusing until we turn into this dude. And for some reason I'm invisible. That never happens. No, I'm just kidding. It always happens. Alright, so now we are Mega Man. So that platform should disappear, yeah, and that means I'm on the correct story gate. What is this Maggot Man? Let me note about jumping, zipping jumps, is that you can still die from fall damage if you don't time it properly. So if I rewind too far when I'm doing a jump, I'll die when I land up on whatever platform I'm heading to. Alright, so I need to go down. This hits the life upgrade cutscene, or cutscene trigger. And again, I can't hit that when I'm zipping. I could use a jump sword to hit that during this zip, but then the cutscene wouldn't play and it would just be rip. So I need to fall down manually and hit it. And I almost went out of bounds there. That's weird, but it's fine. Even though you do regenerate sands, there's certain points in this run where you're doing so many zips so quickly that you can actually run out of sands if you mess up. Yeah, I think I did a little bit of steps before my first backflip. That's why I almost went too far. But that zip is like essentially 100% consistent. Like there's no aim you need to do. You just line up right on the wall. There is an insane zip you can do here, which involves wall running up the life upgrade thing to fall down to lose a bit of height. But it's like actually ridiculous, so I'm not gonna do it. So I'm just gonna side roll here and line up like so. Alright, so I need to backtrack here for another story gate with this fancy little wall run. There we go. You need to bonk and land on that side of the beam. If you land on the other side, then it won't hit the story gate. Okay, so we're gonna go in this corner so those girls don't attack us, and line up like so. I'm gonna jump. I need to jump again here, not because I need more height, but because I need to avoid hitting the cutscene trigger for the life upgrade again. I should land. Oh, that probably didn't hit it. No, it didn't. My aim was off, so I need to jump this way, which is what I used to do up until a couple days ago. That's fine. Yeah, that zip is quite new. The jump, backflip, kick. I realized that you can still stay in that area if your aim is not far enough to the right. The girls won't spawn and attack you. If you aim too far to the left, then they will. Alright, now we need to zip right back up to where the Tahaka is, the Tahaka Chase, which we can do with this fancy zip. One good thing about this run is that most of the life upgrade areas act as checkpoints. So if I were to die here, I would have a checkpoint back at that life upgrade. Alright, so I need to die here to load triggers.
Just try it.
Now we can do this really short Dahaka chase. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Meant to roll, but I hit it a little bit too early. Something funny about this little area, you can zip to the next area and skip this cutscene, but it's really far away. It's not loaded like right in front of the other area. So it's really difficult, and any way you can do it really doesn't end up saving any time. I think I'll take this checkpoint just in case something happens. I should have rewound, I forgot about that. If you have life upgrades, the prince likes to drink approximately 8 gallons of water before it actually triggers the save. So what you can do is like just drink until his health starts increasing, and then you can actually rewind it and you still get the checkpoint. Alright, so I just did that zip, which skips a cutscene, and it also zips a lot of movement, so it ends up saving. It's a really short cutscene, but it still saves time. That fancy jump. And in any percent in this area, you grab the light sword for extra damage on Kylina, but since we're defeating the Dahaka, we do not need that, and we don't need the other sword, which I forgot to mention I was going to. We didn't get the upgrade, the Scorpion Sword it's called, because we just don't need the damage, because we're end up getting the Water Sword later. So we can just get through that area as quickly as possible. Let's try this zip again, which I failed yesterday. That zip looks really fancy, but it basically zips the exact way you need to go in the platforming, and I got it. Cool. See the platform deload there. Alright, so here's where we're gonna start picking up secondaries all over the place. So I'm just gonna grab this, then immediately throw it away to zip down there. Here you can see the drop glitch a little better. See how I fall down while I'm throwing my weapon. And I need to grab this one right away. Another optimization for this category here is I don't need to, in any percent you start these trap triggers a little early so that you can get a cycle where you don't get hit by them. But because I have extra health, I don't need to worry about that, so I can just go right away. I'm just going to go over here to make sure I get this checkpoint, and then we're going to go back and do this zip. Most of the time you get the checkpoint anyway when you do this zip because you backflip there, but just to be sure. Okay, this zip is kind of hard. It's hard because you need to animation cancel the side roll, which is just canceling an animation so it doesn't go as far, and it still didn't work. Of course it didn't. I'm just letting myself die here because I have this checkpoint. And the zip is also hard because the trap is there and you need to time it so you don't get hit by that. That angle is really steep, but it might work anyway. I'll just try it. Nope. This is frustrating. At most I usually miss this zip like one time and then it's fine, but it does not seem to be cooperating. Zips are 100% consistent, but there's a lot of slight things that can vary the time that it takes, or the distance that it goes, I mean. Like even slight lag in the game can change it. And there we are, okay. So what happened before was I was just going a little bit too far behind that wall and not getting in here. And this is another zip that can screw you over. So I'm going to try to get a very specific point. I'm going to do 2 jumps there. Again, not because I need the height. I need the height of 1 jump, but not 2. Because I don't want to hit the following trigger that's there. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, it's bad. Okay. Alright, back to the other checkpoint. I tried to rewind trick there, which is just rewinding to the same position multiple times to redo an action that's previously in memory, so I wouldn't die, but probably shouldn't have tried that. Because I was falling from pretty high height, which makes it harder. Okay, at least that zip didn't take forever again. Alright, let's try this again. That was completely my fault. I just took too long to do my inputs. And I didn't get the last jump in, so I died from fall damage. Alright, this should be fine. There we are. Yeah, so I needed the extra height, so I didn't hit the load trigger for the following area in the zip, because if I did, then the secondary that I'll pick up in a bit, you can't destroy like the thing it's on. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, you can't destroy it to pick it up because it's not loaded properly. So I needed to do that. Alright, another drop glitch there. That one's decently high. You need to kind of be careful with that one. That's bad. I'm gonna zip right inside this breakable wall, like so. And that hits load for the life upgrade room without breaking it, which is nice. And also keeps these traps unloaded, which is very convenient for zipping across this area. You can still do it with them there, but you need to time the backflips, and it's a hassle. Alright, so we're done with this area, which is called the mech tower. Now we need to get to the garden, because there's 2 life upgrades there that we need. There's actually some RNG here, and I got the bad RNG. He didn't break this wall with his exploding dogs or whatever, so I had to stop my side rolls, otherwise the prince targets the wall. But if he destroys it, you can keep side rolling. So this is a zip where the jump height is equal to the height I need to be at, the zipped jump height. So that's why I jumped last, because I don't need to time the jump. And you can actually make that cycle that I just waited for, but it's incredibly tight. I've only done it 1 time. I definitely was not fast enough there. You might think it'd be faster to drop glitch down this whole area, but it turns out that it's too far down to even drop glitch. So it's better just to take the curtains. But we'll do a little one here.
I've never seen such a large clockwork mechanism before.
And then do this crazy looking zip.
Tremendous machine. But for what purpose? I wonder.
A lot of specific inputs because you need a certain distance to hit the trigger, which I got first try, so that's good. And we need to backtrack for a load.
But for what purpose? I wonder.
I think I'll grab this checkpoint, just in case I mess up the garden zip coming up. There, I just did that trick I was talking about earlier where I can rewind, so I don't need to wait for him to drink his 8 gallons of water. Okay. So I need to destroy that vase anyway. That actually cancels the prince landing in a block roll, which also saves time, so it's good on both accounts. this should work perfectly. This is gonna zip us right over to the garden area, which is pretty cool because tons of areas deload, and it's really cool to watch. Okay, and then since these vases are not loaded properly, I can stand on top of them and climb up here, just right casual like, even though you're not actually supposed to be able to climb up there. Like, it's normally too high. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you want Sand Wraith right away. Without Sand Wraith, Garden would be horrible. And you'll see why, because I'll be using a lot of sands. Like, back to back. Okay, I need a specific lineup here. This is kind of a newer route. I'm gonna go to what we call the lower garden first. We used to go to the upper garden first, but I found out it's actually slightly faster to do the lower one first. But it's also much harder. But yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway, because this is a speed run. Prince, there you go. Alright, so grab this weapon. For a drop glitch. Oh wow, and make that jump. That jump is really easy. I don't know why I didn't make it the first time. Alright, so we're gonna zip right down here. And this alignment is again meant to go right behind the load trigger for the life upgrade room. Oh, I didn't go far enough. I'm gonna rewind back. Oh, it didn't allow me. Okay. Good thing I took that checkpoint, I guess. Well, that sucks. Okay. I was thinking of rewind tricking there, but I decided to play it safe and tried to rewind back, but the game wasn't having it. Yeah, that's like, well, it always works if the zip doesn't use up the full rewind, but the ones that kind of do, then it doesn't always work. And it's also better if you don't move before, which I'm trying to go fast, so I probably was moving. Alright, let's take this in case I die again. Oh, let's see, 50? Yeah, probably. Try my best. Go fast. I guess I should have just taken this one. Let's take this one. I don't want to have to do that whole area again. I think this can still get like a 47, but we'll see. Everything else goes smoothly, it should be fine. The first time I tried this, I just rewound a bit too long. Or a bit too short, rather. That time it was completely fine. You can see how much they can vary. That time I had enough drop time to make it all the way down. But the time before, I just shorted it by a little bit, so I ended up dying. I didn't mention, but yeah, you can side roll through traps and it doesn't stop you at all. You still take damage, but since we're collecting life upgrades, we have a lot of health, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, so that was the lower garden life upgrade. Now we need to head to upper garden to get that one, which is where the hardest part of the run comes into play. Luckily that weapon comes back when you leave the area, so I can just grab it again for the next drop glitch. Alright, bunch of casual stuff there, and now we can zip again. Zip up here. I can't zip directly over to where the upper garden is because there's a load trigger, as you probably saw that area deload. I need to zip over here, and then I can just head over to this side.
A waste of my time.
Alright, so remember how I said cutscenes get deloaded if you rewind through them? We're going to use that here to our advantage. So there's a trigger right in this archway. So I'm going to go through it, which isn't actually there yet. I'm going to go down and hit this trigger, and then keep rewinding until I go through that archway. And that will deload a cutscene, and that you'll see in a second. Oh wow, I missed that jump. Okay. That's the first time I missed that jump in a long time. So right here, there's normally a cutscene, but since I rewound long enough back there, it's no longer here. That height that I just zipped to actually kills you, but the cutscene saves you, so it's all good. Alright, so this is one of the hardest part of the run, I would say, so let's see if it goes smoothly. I'm going to be doing a lot of rewinds. I need to drop glitch down, and then I'm going to zip again to get my weapon back, because there's no real better place to get it. If I land in a bad spot, I'll just leave it and get it back a different way that's a bit slower. But we'll see now. Line this up. And the drop height of this is pretty far. That should work. Oh no, it didn't. I missed the trigger. That's surprising. So the drop distance was fine, but I actually ended up missing the load trigger. Let's try aiming there. Okay. It's really frustrating when you have to do this zip multiple times. Okay. I'll try this one more time, and if it doesn't work, then I'll just do a different route. I'm not sure why I'm not hitting the load. It should be right there. Yeah, like that looks good. Let's try it again. There it is. And that happened. Oh my god. That is just ridiculous. I was trying to drop a bit further to fix it, but no. That is ridiculous. As you probably guessed, that's never happened before. I really do want to get this. No, God. Okay, I have 3 sands, so I'll try one more time. Okay, okay, I landed here. I'll just, yeah, okay. Oh. There, okay. We did it. I'll get the sword, the backup, because I'm too close to do my inputs. But I need a rewind, because I wasted one. Okay. So I need to backtrack there for a load. And I also hit a load for enemies, but then I rewind back, so they're not going to be there anymore. So normally there's enemies here, but since I did that way, that area a specific way, they get deloaded. And that allows us to do this zip. So there's a load trigger underneath me, that's why I did the jump slash. So I hit that load, and I can zip over to here. And then normally I could just do the zip from this platform, but because I lost the sword, I need to go over here and get this secondary. Then I can do the zip from here. Yeah, I find that area either goes perfectly fine or absolute train wreck like it was there. Because that load for the bottom area can be difficult to hit. Let's get a checkpoint, because this run is going horribly, so I wouldn't be surprised if something weird happened. Alright, so we have 3 life upgrades left to get. 2 that are in like previous areas that we didn't go to because we skipped to the end. So we need to backtrack to those. And then we'll get the one that's in the switch room, I don't know what to call it. The room that connects to all the other areas. We're gonna jump slash here again for another load. I would be incredibly surprised if I got glue. The story gate counters that you need are already set like way back at the start. And none of this affects it because you're already past this point. Alright, so this is another instance where there's a small cutscene, or it's actually quite a longer cutscene, but there's a cutscene and also a lot of movement, so we just do a quick roll to zip past it all. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, if you have the wrong story gate value, Like if you, like back in the mech tower when we had that problem with story gate 64, if you don't hit that one, then the story gate gets like broken, and then when you get to the end, it doesn't act like it's on the correct story gate, even though it might say it is. Alright, so this is the first life upgrade that we need to backtrack for. And there's one back in that room that I zipped through, but we'll get it on the way back. From this point on, after garden, the run is pretty easy. Like when I'm doing runs, it's always like scary up until garden, and then if I have a good time after garden, it's like, okay, this can be an easy world record. These traps usually don't take that long to go back. They were on a bad cycle. So just zip all the movement through this area because it's faster. I find this area always deceiving because by the looks of it, like it looks like you'll die if you fall all the way down there, but you actually don't. It's fine, so you can just zip across and fall down and not die. Let's get this, because some bad stuff can happen here, although it's really rare. Just in case. This load for the area can be really finicky sometimes. And I have had it crash one time, so just thought I'd take that save. Alright, so this should lag a little bit, yep. I'm gonna do this weird maneuver. It's actually a perfect distance. It'll zip us back and then forward, which is a good distance to get right up into this room. Yeah, the expected lag. It always lags a little bit when you hit that load. I think it's just because it's a really big room. Yeah. I needed to destroy that furniture because if I did my block inputs there, then the prints would change directions and this zip would not work at all. This zip is actually interesting because it skips a load trigger. Normally, the area that I just left would get deloaded, but I skipped the area that deloads that. And then because of that, I can just zip directly back and the area would be loaded. Like if I die right now and then try to zip, the area won't be there. But as long as I don't die and I just zip right back to where I came from, the area will be there. Alright, so this zip can kind of be a little scary because if I don't go far enough, there's a long cutscene which would really suck to watch right now because I'm already past estimate probably. Okay, we're good. Take it safe here and use 2 jumps. You only need 1, but using 1 is hard to time sometimes, so. Well, I meant like I will be past estimate by the time I finish this. So I just needed to climb down that ladder for another load trigger. Then we can go up here, which is really nice because the traps aren't loaded. Which, like this corridor especially, can take you a bit longer because the traps, you need to wait for them or get hit by them like 5 times. Okay, so this guy's gonna meet us down there. Oh, he died. Okay, I guess I'll just grab his weapon then. I didn't mean to kill him. I was a little careful with the line up there because, okay, cool. There's, like, you can actually land on, like, the top of that archway and then not have, it'll just stop your falling. And then once you throw the weapon, you'll fall and die. So I want to make sure you don't land on that. So there's 2 zips I can do here. I'll do the easier one. The other one just zips a little bit of extra movement. I'm gonna do this little setup here. A bit further. That jump sword is to get to a certain height. So when I zip, I'll hit that load and then land right here. And that's actually, oh, this thing is in my way, I didn't even see it. Normally this area is different. Normally that switch is not there. And this gate is here, so hopefully that doesn't mean the story gate is wrong. I don't think it does. I needed to end the zip there because there's another story gate. And then we zip to the edge of this platform to hit that load, which it lagged a little bit as well. Because if you zip too far past that, then it'll deload the cutscene for the water sword upcoming here. And we obviously want to get the water sword. Nah, it's fine. I believe.
This should make things easier.
Alright, so now we have the water sword. Now the only thing left to do is to just go kill the Tahaka. We'll zip into the throne room. We need to actually get this save point because the game will crash if you try and die here to reload the area. So we need to actually grab a save, and then we can force crash the game, which just makes PCs consistent across runs. There we go. It's all good. Is the stream dead? No, okay. No. I was confused for a second because I didn't test the program we used to kill the game and reload it. I was wondering there if it messed up my stream and ended up crashing it, but it's all good. I'll do these couple quick zips. Oh, camera was the wrong way. Now it's Tahaka time.
I know what you've seen, what you think you've seen in the timeline.
Then you know I have no choice.
There is always
Getting
a
the
choice,
water
Kylie.
sword.
Then I choose to live.
The last story gate that you hit for this is actually in that area I just zipped from when I did the jump backflip. That's when it goes to story gate 68, which is the one you need.
You can change your fate. I have done so. A terrible
And if you
beast
skip
attempted
it,
to
it
take
just
my life,
crashes.
but I have freed myself from.
What is that
No!
thing?
How is this possible?
It's kind of weird because sometimes that story gate gets hit a bit later, and I've had the game crash because of that when I tried that jump backflip. But since I've been playing it in full screen, it's fine.
Bringing her here, I have sentenced her to death. This is all your fault.
Alright, so to get the Dahaka to go on the ledge, we're just going to keep chaining side rolls and block rolls, and hopefully get him in a stun pattern where he could just never move. Oh, I already messed up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a bad Dahaka. At least he's not jumping. Ah. There we go. Alright, so now we can just keep whacking his head and use animation canceling so that he doesn't have time to get back up to start the next phase. And just kill him in one cycle here. And I do have that sand and time. I do have that sand just in case I mess up an animation cancel, so I can rewind and keep going. That's just for safety, but it just ends up being that way anyway. So yeah, that was Warrior Within True Ending. Hope you liked it. It was a little overestimate, but that's fine. Just a minute 24. It was a good run except for Garden. That's what killed it, and that's what kills a lot of runs. So yeah, I think we have the race now. Is it the Sands of Time zipless race? I will be watching that. That sounds really interesting. 4-way race, I believe. Yeah, that's it for me. So thanks for watching, and see you.